Hey guys, it's Tuesday, September 17th. I'm just outside of my Albergue, the municipal one here in Fromista, where I stayed last night. So today, leaving from here, you have two options. You can take a short day of about 19 kilometers and stop at Camino de los Condes. I think this is the correct name. But after that, it's 17 kilometers to the next town. So it's either a short day or a fairly long one. It's only 4:15 in the morning, so I think you know what my choice is. I'm going to go the long route. Should be about 37 kilometers today. I'll do a final number at the end to make sure that's correct. But 4:15 in the morning, I'm ready to get rolling. All right. First small town after you leave Fromista. Actually, I think it's a small town. I haven't been in it yet, but just coming in. And by the way, I'm hiking under not a full moon, but probably 3/4 of a moon, and it's directly overhead. I haven't needed a light at all. The only reason I have this light on is so that you can see the sign. And I really like hiking at night like this. I haven't seen another pilgrim. There's hardly a soul around. All right, we're leaving the town of Poblacion dos Campos, and you have an option of going to the right or the left and still being on the Camino de Santiago. The option to the right goes more out into the fields. The option to the left is going to go along the road. The option to the left also passes through all the small towns. I haven't had any breakfast this morning. It's dark out. I'm not going to see anything if I go out on the fields anyway. So I'm going to stay along the road for now. So hopefully in an hour I can catch a cafe open to grab some coffee and something to eat. All right, coming up on the next town on the Camino is Revenga de Campos. I've been hiking since 4:30. It's about just before 6 o'clock, maybe 5 minutes till. So I'll get as much of this as I can in the dark. Little park-like square in the middle of the town. By the way, it's 6. I haven't seen another pilgrim yet, but there's albergues in these small towns. So someone will start hiking around 6. I'll probably start seeing people soon. All right, still in the dark. Let's go with Villa Montero de Campos. This is a really small town, a few hundred meters, and you're through it. And back out onto the Camino. All right, here's the next town, Villa Cueza de Sierga. Well, I'm really hoping I can get a cafe open now. That's looking back behind me to the west. First light finally starting to come up. So the Camino really isn't going through the center of this town. It's skirting right along the edge. And I don't know if I'll find a cafe if I went into town or not, so I don't want to waste the steps. A little bit more pre-sunrise action. All right, sun just finally starting to come over the top of the hill there. Rolling in here, we're at 8:30. Been at it for 4 hours today. So I'm in Camino de los Condes at about 8:30. I left at 4:30. That's 19 kilometers. So I still got a ways to go. The next bit is 17 kilometers between towns with no water source. They said there is sometimes a food truck or kiosk set up at the halfway point. There's no guarantee that'll be there, so I have to make sure I leave here with full water. Fortunately, we have cooler temperatures today, so it's not as critical as it would be in the summertime. So this seems to be the popular pilgrim cafes. You're passing through Carrion. This part of the town looks really cool. It's pretty dark in here, but this is the church in Camino de los Condes. Very beautiful. There's what the outside of that church looks like. I can't get far enough back to get an overall view. I want to point out that it's not this shop, but I just passed a shop a while back that was an outfitter shop for backpacks, shoes, anything you would need as a hiker. So this town you can resupply in if you have any equipment that's broken on you. there's a good chance you would be able to get it there. Actually, this shop has a lot of things too, like buffs and hats. It looks like they have walking sticks. So they have some resupply here. It looks like they actually have two stores that you could do some resupply in. The other one looked more like a mini REI or something. Really cool bridge as you're leaving town. I really like this town. It would have been a good town to stay at. Oh, I guess that's named right there, Rio Carrion. And I guess that's where the town gets its name from, Carrion de los Condes. Condes. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but really neat looking bridge. This would have been a good town to stay at, but it just didn't work out on my schedule because it's, like I said, I got here at 8:30 in the morning. And I want to make it across this next bit and then look for a place to stay. Still coming out of Carrion. This is pretty impressive. Well, neat looking. This is actually in the middle of a roundabout as you're leaving Carrion. Completely out of Carrion, and it's a tiny bit of suburban outside the city limits and out into a more rural area. Hopefully this won't be a road walk the whole way, but we'll see. So I'm not sure if it's today, but I know it's coming up pretty soon. I'll be at the halfway point on my Camino de Santiago journey, or pilgrimage. But I'm also planning to go all the way to the ocean, so I won't be halfway on my entire journey yet. And if you've been following along and you're not familiar with the Camino, and you say, well, this doesn't look very hard, it's pretty flat. It is, but the highest mountains that I have to cross are still in front of me. It's just a long flat stretch here called the Meseta. So after 6 kilometers, we'll walk over here back onto dirt and gravel. This guy just passed me with a bike and he's pulling this like little stroller thing behind him. There's nobody in it. That's for the dog when the dog gets tired. Yeah, since we left Carrion, I don't think I've shown you like any views because it's just the same. It's flat and it's pretty much wheat fields on both sides. Went up to the halfway point. You have this El Camino food truck out here. When I said the halfway point, I mean halfway between Carrion and the next town. But I've been told there's another place just past that red building also called the Oasis. Yeah, starting to get pretty hot. Guess what I bought for €3 in Burgos? I'm walking in the shade. We're up at Bar Oasis, which is another mobile light place. This is halfway between the two towns. I'm not going in because I already stopped a mile and a half back and just rested my feet for a bit, and I already have plenty of water. So onwards I go. So it's 12:30 now, still on the trail. It's gotten hot. All right, finally across the abyss here. No man's land, or whatever you want to call it. It's a long, totally exposed, sunny, hot hike from Carrion to this town. And you never see it hardly till you're almost there because it's down in a little dip in the Meseta. Wow, see that cafe up there? That looks so inviting after a long, hot, flat hike. All right, let me see if they have any beds available still. All right, so today we left Fromista at 4:30, and we got in here at 1 o'clock. Let me work on the distance for you, so that's 8.5 hours. All right, so today was 36 kilometers, just over 22 miles. And I'll give you a tour of the Albergue as much as I can later. There's actually 2 here side by side. I'm in a municipal. There's also one right next to us with a pole. I want to point out when you come into this city, which I'll give you the name of in just a second, but you'll know it. It's the first one after Carrion. After you go through a long area with no towns, about 10 miles. Albergue Municipal, €5. That's where I'm at. That was a mistake. Albergue de Peregrinos, right next door, but they have the pool and they have the nice area out back. Ours doesn't have that, so don't make the mistake I have. Use the one on the left. Nice bar right next door though. A lot of pilgrims here. Some are staying, some are still moving on today, but I am definitely done. This is my lunch. They call this just pasta here, but I call it chili mac at home with some bread. This was €3.50. Can't remember how much the beers were. They're pretty standard, around €3 for the Grande. So another wonderful night in this town with all my friends coming in. Elle in the background, she's on the phone. And my friends here, all at the table. So nice to see everybody.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you all. Right, so we're in this town just across no man's land. I can't remember the name. I know I'm terrible. It's been in the video earlier. And this is our view from the bar. And this is our view looking back at pilgrims after a hard day's walk, having a few cocktails and enjoying each other's company. So that's Dario there waving at you. John over there, Sam, Elle. You're looking at the back of Yuha. And so...
And Paco.
Yeah, and he saved me because I couldn't get my vape fixed, and he fixed my vape for me, and he's my hero today. So yeah.
Only today.
Yeah. Anybody want to say if anybody wants to say anything that'll be on YouTube, say it now. All right. Nobody has anything to say.
Kate killed us. Yes, it was so hard.
It was a fun but difficult and warmish day. So buen camino.
Buen camino.
So this is my pilgrim group for tonight, heading out to dinner.
Give me the finger.
The finger.